Alrighty then. Let's try this again. This will be my second time trying to record this because the first one I almost got to the end of it, and then the IO just decided to completely flip out. And it just was static, and it sounded like someone crushing through snow, and no voices. So here's hoping that this works. Fingers crossed. Anyways, hi, it's Amuletta. Doing something a little bit different because life is a lot right now, so I'm trying to do something unscripted. Um, I don't have a whole lot of time to work on the game, and I have even less time to work on these videos. I've got a lot of personal projects that I'm working on, a lot of like home repairs, helping people with stuff, just eating up a lot of time, and my real life job is in the middle of peak season. So I am working mandatory overtime at least through January and possibly all the way up through March, depending on how busy we are. So, not a whole lot of time to work on the game, and even less time to work on these videos. And the problem with that is, if I kind of use these videos as a way to keep myself going, even I know I don't have a huge audience, but like this keeps me accountable. I have to have something to show at the end of the week. And if I don't have that to keep me accountable, then I'm not going to work on the game. And if I don't work on the game, then I will come back to it in 6 months and have to start all over again, and I just don't want to do that again. Um, so I'm trying to compromise a little bit. Doing this in a much more freeform style. I kind of don't like that I don't have the subtitles on the side because I know my IO is not great, and I feel like those help people be able to understand what I'm saying, and just accessibility in general. I'm a huge proponent of that. But you gotta work with what you got, and we'll see what's going on. And at least some of this will help me, like, for when I want to eventually start streaming, because I need to figure out how some of this stuff works. So, I do have a few small tidbits to show. Nothing that's making it into the game. There will not be a new version this week either, because none of this is working 100%. I'm still working on trying to get some of the stuff from last week working. I kind of need to overhaul the item system because it wasn't designed with the idea of having multiple characters in mind, and the methods I put in before are run up against some limitations. So that's something I'll be working on in the background. But I can go ahead and show off what little bits I have gotten working. Let us see. So we'll start with the sun. He'll come in, he does a little spin, and he just sits there. What he's supposed to do is, like in Mario 3, he's supposed to spin around, dive down to the middle of the screen, go up to the side, spin around again, dive down. Um, if you've played Mario 3, you know what he's going to do, but, not everyone's played a 30-plus-year-old NES game. Problem is that right now he will do the one spin and stop, or I can get him to spin around and disappear, and apparently go to like negative 100,000 X, which doesn't help. So still working on getting him to like do what he needs to do. Um, but yeah, also got Luigi here instead of Mario because with Luigi I have he's gonna throw turtle shells. Every character gets a unique weapons, so a unique skills, I guess. Either or. So instead of throwing hammers or fireballs, I'm gonna have Luigi throw turtle shells, travel on the bottom of the ground, similar to fireballs, but they can go through multiple enemies. I'm also trying to figure out how to give Luigi like an electro shot, kind of based on the Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. You get electricity to Mario's fire in that one. Still working on how to get that to even function properly. The turtle shell is still very much work in progress. Need to get it to break bricks, need to go through enemies and do like an appropriate amount of damage. For a while there, it was going through walls, which isn't helpful. So, still working on that. And we've also got a few other things I was able to like start putting together. Let's see. Is that showing up? OBS says that shows up. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm not great at the whole stream multiple windows things, but you get to watch me learn in real time. Another thing that I was working on is that since we're in a desert stage, I wanted to make some like cactus piranha plants. I thought it'd be like a cool idea to have them instead of just the regular piranha plants. And a friend of mine mentioned that since the cactus arms are kind of sticking out, it almost looks like they're dancing. And so they said that would be kind of cool if you could have them like dance back and forth and then have them like shoot up at a diagonal. And I actually kind of like the idea because it's going to be because it gives it something a little bit different than the regular piranha plants. So now you can like turn and shoot up just in the corners. It'll be like a stationary turned type of thing. Um, Still working on it. Not probably need to make these arms like a little bit shorter or thicker because they look a little wonky. I kind of want to see if I can get some in between sprites to like make it look like he's turning all the way around. So working on that. I mean, you can see like my first attempt at a cactus there, and it's way too small with the piranha plant head. Another sprite that I'm working on is Wario. He's going to be in eventually because that's my next playable character, I guess. Basing him on his appearance from was it Super Mario Land 3 Wario Land for the Game Boy, which is the first place you could play as him that I'm aware of. Maybe in like one of the Mario parties or Mario Karts or something, but the first time where he's on a platformer at least. And so, got a few things going on here. You know, this is what he looks like when he's small. This duck looking thing is actually a hat that he can wear that lets him like jet across the screen. And I thought that'd be kind of cool to turn that into a plane for him to be flying in, give him a little bit of a different flavor from Mario and Luigi and their little biplanes. Possibly gives like the other characters like their own unique vehicles. When I get to the water stage, I'm hoping to do like a submarine type thing, so maybe I can do something with that. But of course, like this sprite up here is much like that would be fine, but he's too big compared to like the regular Mario sprite. Which I guess I could make it so that he's like, oops, yeah, he's kind of in two pieces right now. I could make it so that he's, you know, a bigger character so he's like easier to hit, but maybe more powerful. But that's gonna require me to like rework a lot of the, like gaps and stuff in stages too, which kind of breaks stuff. And, you know, obviously a bigger target would like make him a lot worse from a balance point of view. So I'm trying to get like a small sprite. It's okay. Not 100% satisfied with it. Yeah, he looks a little too scrunched up, a little too scrongly. Probably need to work on his face maybe a little bit. I don't know. Still working on it, and the plane looks a little goofy when it's scrunched up like that. So I may still have to work on it, but eventually I do want to turn this into like an original IP, but I need to kind of come up with a lot more ideas and original artwork for that, so I need to start practicing. Don't worry, I'm still going to be mostly using like the Mario 3 sprites for the most part, but you know, I've already got the custom Birdo, so kind of have to get some other custom character sprites. But that is what's going on with the sprites. Still working on those. For the sprites, feedback would be very much appreciated as to like, I'm not the best at being an artist, so if any artists want to say like, hey, you know, here's what would make this look better, please, you know, advise, you know, feedback. I absolutely want some constructive criticism on this stuff. And last thing I can show off, hopefully the IO hasn't like forked out on this one again, is here I've got kind of a blueprint stage that I'm working on. I basically like plan it out here and put it in the timer object so everything appears like it's supposed to. And so this will be the start of the pyramid. You come in the gate here, and what I want is like branching paths, kind of, you've seen it if you've played Gradius, you've seen it where it'll be like, oh, you can go, you know, one of two or three paths, but like this path is clear, this path is like blocked off, this one has like more enemies, you know, something like that. So I want to do something similar. Still working on planning it out because the rest of this is just open air. But, and I don't, like, it'll have the background. I just don't need to, like, put that in here because I already know. This is just kind of a planning, behind the scenes type of thing. Only other thing I can say is, like, these medium and small blocks are custom. The large ones are just the bricks that Mario 3 uses for the pyramid. But then these, like, medium and small ones are modifications of that one, although now I'm looking at it, I have to adjust the colors because they're a little bit different than the one up here. Well, using a few different sources for sprites, and I guess they're not quite matching up. I'll deal with that later. But anyways, so yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing here. That's kind of what I've been able to get functional. Started so rambly. There's a reason I normally script these out, but then that takes a lot of extra time to work through and get like proper footage, and I'd spend like a few hours like putting these together, and I just don't have that right now. So, ironically, one of my longest videos will be me just kind of rambling. I'll try to like rein it in for next time. Although I say that this is my second take and it's already like almost 2 minutes longer than the first take. Hopefully, the audio didn't screw up. Anyways, so yeah, I better shut my yap. Get back to working on stuff because I got other things to work on. But yeah. Sorry, I don't think fast on the fly. But thank you for checking out my video. Feedback is always welcome and appreciated. And I hope you have a great week. Take care.